Here is an EOAlive Grande story.
This story has been brought to you by True Value Hardware on Jefferson Street. The Elgin Opera House will be holding their first performance since the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic, Sherlock Holmes, A Scandal in Bohemia. The next performance dates will be Friday, November 6th at 7:30 p.m., Saturday, November 7th at 7:30 p.m., and lastly, Sunday at 2:30 p.m. and 4:30 p.m.
The play's called Sherlock Holmes, A Scandal in Bohemia, and it is, for anyone who is a fan of Arthur Conan Doyle's Sherlock Holmes, it is a direct adaptation from the source material. I'm a huge Holmes fan, have been since I was a kid, and I've always wanted to bring Doyle's work to theater because, you know, there are a lot of movies and television shows that feature Sherlock, but there aren't a lot of plays. So I actually adapted this play several years ago when I used to live in Portland. I ran a theater there, and I adapted it for my Portland theater, and then we brought it out here. If you know Doyle at all, it's one of his most famous stories about Sherlock's conflict with perhaps the most famous femme fatale of the Victorian era, which was a character by the name of Irene Adler. Basically, she's as smart, she's as savvy, she's as clever as Sherlock, and she proves to be a real challenge for him. So, at its heart, the subject of the story is the King of Bohemia has had a dalliance with the famous opera singer Irene Adler, and he is afraid that she's going to publish some scandalous photos of he and she together and perhaps jeopardize his upcoming engagements. So he comes to Sherlock to ask that Sherlock get that picture back from her. The challenge is that Sherlock finds himself up against a formidable foe in Irene. Literally, the last show in the Opera House itself was Newsies, and that closed, I believe, November 1st last year. So this is the first show in a year since Newsies. The Opera House company, we performed a play that closed March 1st. So that's, what, 8 months ago. So yeah, it has been a long time since we have been on either stage. When the theater shut down, so we did Much Ado About Nothing, like I said, in March, and it closed March 1st. By March 12th, Broadway shut down. By March 15th, Oregon went into lockdown. And Terry and I have Terry, who's the artistic director at the Opera House, have probably been in conversation, I'd say at least 5, if not 6 times, about what we might potentially do in this time of pandemic to bring something to the stage, not only for us as actors or creators to kind of scratch our creative itch, but also to give the audience something to watch or some sort of theatrical experience. For various reasons, whether it was, at one point in time we were planning on doing something, and then Oregon went from 250 people in a room to 50 to 10. And suddenly, you know, we can't put on a play if we can only have 10 people in the audience. So that shut that down. We had some other plays in mind, but we started to get feedback that some of the actors and some of the community was nervous about the potential of COVID spread. So we had to think long and hard about how to do this. We ultimately decided on this play because I had done it before, really. So for me, to put it together was not going to be too much of an emotional investment. The last thing you wanted to do was put on a production, rehearse for 6 to 8 weeks, put all of your heart and soul into it, only to have the rug get pulled out of you, underneath you at the last moment. Really soul-crushing and heartbreaking. So, ironically enough, I had this play sort of sitting in a drawer, so it was easy for me to do this play because I'm familiar with it. The second advantage is a small cast. And so what's important when you stage a play, it's important that your audience feels safe. And not only do they feel safe because we keep the theater socially distant, the arena probably seats about 250 people. We're only inviting 50 per evening, and they socially distance themselves. So you've got a pocket of people here, you've got one person over here, everybody's 6 feet apart, they wear masks when they come in and out, there's hand sanitizer prevalent throughout the building, so they're relatively safe in the auditorium. But it's important that they feel that the actor is safe, because if the audience is worried about the actor as opposed to worried about Sherlock Holmes, then the theater magic gets broken, the fourth wall is destroyed, and it's not the theatrical experience that you're kind of trying to create. So it was very important to us that the audience knew that we were staying socially distant as well. So in the staging of the play, we ultimately decided that we were just going to there's 5 of us in the cast, which again was part of what made it easier. But we decided that we were all going to just stand within our own individual pool of light, and we weren't going to go out of that pool. And we separated ourselves at least 6 feet apart on stage. So we do, as a result, you would think to yourself, well, that doesn't sound very interesting to watch, a bunch of actors just standing in one place. So we've had to supplement the production with a lot of, we do a lot of projection work, we do a lot of light and sound supplements, and we have a few video projections that help to tell the story as well. Really, anytime the actors, or the characters, I should say, leave and go outside into, they leave Sherlock's study and they go out into the real world. We use some film snippets to help transition that change. So the play opened last weekend, and it runs this weekend, Friday, Saturday at 7:30, Sunday at 2:30 and 4:30. So there are 4 opportunities to see it. Tickets can be acquired through the Opera House. You can either call them on the phone, probably have an easier time just going to the Opera House website. I will say that the best thing about staging this is it really has been euphoric, not only for the actors to be back on stage again, for the actors to have had the challenge of working on lines, developing a character, working with your compatriots. We've all been isolated in our homes for the last 9 months. That same sort of euphoria and catharsis has happened with the audience as well. The thrill of, sitting in a dark theater and watching people tell stories has been really, really exciting. We've had a lot of positive feedback. People are just glad to have something to go see again. And the truth is, and I tell the audiences this every night, we don't know when we will get this opportunity again. We really are living in a moment where we have to take these little bits and opportunities while we can, because we don't know when we'll get them again. I mean, the state might shut down 2 weeks from now, and this may be the last theater that we get for another year. So if you've been craving sitting in a darkened arena and experiencing live storytelling, now is the time. I think it's important that people know that this is a cast of, some Union County favorite actors, Liberty O'Dell, Cassandra Johnson, Michael Cooper, Sam Miller, myself. The joy of this play is that it's set in Victorian England, and we perform in this beautiful sort of Victorian era authentic playhouse, so it just sort of has an aura of authenticity about it. It's just been so much fun, and the silent films that we've added to supplement the story have just been really, really well received. It's been a lot of fun.